So I received a very odd and yet rather fascinating email recently that had been CC'd off to probably 100 other channels in the Asian expat and travel niche. It was quite a nasty email from a supposed Team Thornton, outrageously accusing Jen Thornton of murdering her late husband Mark. The sob behind every man has a story. Here is the email. Follow with me as I read through. Message for Jen V. Alone, widow of American citizen Mark Thornton. Jen V. Alone. We are fully aware of what you did to your ex-husband Mark Thornton. The lethal dose and combination of Viagra and heart medication that you encouraged him to take is what caused his death. This is first-degree murder. You are under investigation and will soon be arrested, and when convicted you will serve a life sentence in a prison in Visayas, Philippines. Here are the facts. 1. You are a dirt poor, uneducated, unemployed Filipina. 2. You have lived in poverty your entire life. Never worked, never paid 1 peso in taxes. 3. Your jungle monkey parents and parasitic siblings are no different. 4. Your sister married a foreigner and had a baby with him, and you saw the financial benefit of doing so. 5. So at age 24 you met and married a 65-year-old American who was in failing health. 6. Even though he did not want to, you coerced him into marrying you, and later convinced him into getting you pregnant, with lies like, I want something to remember you by. 7. After the baby was born, your asshole relatives started to ask you, when is your foreigner going to die? We need that money. So you all planned his murder. 8. You were under the impression that after his death you would immediately get from the USA government survivors benefits for yourself and dependents benefits for your baby. You will get neither. 9. The full details of your little scam and heinous crime will be sent to the Dumaguete Police and the United States Social Security Administration, https://secure.ssa.government/email us/email us.action. 10. You could have married a Filipino man who was around your age. You could have had a baby with a man who would have been young enough to raise that child. 11. Instead, you purposely chose an elderly, frail, dying foreigner from the USA. You purposely had a baby with him, knowing damn well that he would be dead soon and that the baby would never have a biological father in his life. 12. You are pure evil and you will face the most severe of consequences. 13. Now you have the audacity and shamelessness to ask for money on YouTube. You are using fake tears to get sympathy and funds sent to your fucking PayPal account. 14. We are also aware that you are already involved with yet another elderly foreign man. You dirty, disgusting bitch. We will be in touch. Team Thornton. That's the end of the email. I'm quite amused that there is a Team Thornton out there seeking justice for what would seem as poor judgment on Mark's part. As a member of the audience stated, Mark went on TRT and felt so great and young he lowered his prescribed heart medication. Boasted about it on his live streams. 6 months later this happened. His arrogance and big ego were a big part in his demise. Perhaps the real reason was that Mark could not afford medication. Everything he bought was China-made and economical. He left his young family nothing but boxes of trash that he shipped over from the United States and a few second-hand and Chinese toys to put in the garage. As much as possible, let's try and place things in their most correct perspective. The two of them may have really loved each other, but time wasn't on their side. Asia may be like the land where time stands still, but time waits for no one. Mark was a capable man with no empathy, and so he had no real friends who believed in him. He was like the court jester or the circus clown who was just there to amuse everybody with fairy tales and fantasies of extravagant cruise ships, walking the cobblestone streets of Europe, marrying Cinderella, being everyone's best friend, and the list seems infinite. Mark never really accomplished anything in life after all, aside from leading and inspiring a certain stereotype of what we don't want here in the Philippines as part of the expat portion of society. Let the man have his peace. Now let's discuss Jen. She has been living in a bubble, closed off from society and the world around. Mark was overprotective of her, most probably to protect himself. He wasn't a criminal or anything like that, to do with the law, but he was a manipulative leech who conned his way through life, it seemed. He was able to fill Yen's head with lies, portraying what big shot travel aka Ricky drama is doing. Mark had big dreams and probably thought he'd turn out like the owner of KFC who became a billionaire at 80. I mean, it's good for a man to have dreams, but what about the ones around you? Mark placed Jen in a position where she was helpless and had to rely on him to get by. It was all a matter of convenience for him. Sure, he loved them enough, but time has revealed that the expectations he set on himself come nowhere near his accomplishments for them. It's a tragic shame, really. Someday, Jen will realize that she was played along for convenience sake, where everything was controlled to Mark's liking, but the picture he painted for her to see will never ever come close. Jen will soon realize that her expectations were set at a fairy tale level that she actually believed and has or will soon come to realize. Jen doesn't deserve to be labeled a murderer, but she is the perfect example of what we don't want happening to young, capable Filipinas who fall in love with Western men assuming that they will be at a better level economically. The phenomenon of older men dating significantly younger women and starting families is a complex social dynamic fueled by various cultural, economic, and personal factors. In this case, their son Rogan will have to come to terms with the passing of one parent, but taking it as if it were normal in society, which is most definitely not the case. It isn't normal to lose a parent so early in life to such a natural occurrence. Jen will now have to re-engage into society as a single widow, having to raise a child on her own. She is blessed to have a family around her who can support her social well-being, and that is what Filipino culture is all about. If you have any thoughts or comments, please let us know in the comments. It is important for young Filipinas to realize that Western men are not the solution to all their problems. They are not knights in shining armor, here to rescue the poor from poverty. While it can be tempting to view relationships with foreign partners as a means to improve one's life circumstances, it is crucial to approach such connections with realistic expectations and an understanding of several key points. Foreign men can also learn from this and probably impart some of these tips to their relationship prospects. 1. Engaging with someone from a different cultural background can lead to misunderstandings and miscommunications. It's vital to appreciate and respect these differences rather than assuming compatibility based solely on romantic interest. 2. Relying on a partner to solve personal or economic problems can be detrimental. Young Filipinas should focus on their own personal development, education, and skills to create a stable future for themselves. Empowering oneself through self-sufficiency is a more sustainable approach. 3. The idea of a white knight can lead to idealizing relationships, which may ignore potential red flags or incompatibilities. It's essential to enter relationships with a clear understanding of both partners as individuals, rather than as figures in a fantasy narrative. Relationships with significant age or cultural differences can lead to power imbalances. Young Filipinas should be cautious of dynamics that could contribute to unequal relationships, where one partner may wield more influence or control. In conclusion, while relationships can indeed provide opportunities for growth and enrichment, it's essential for young Filipinas to approach these connections with a grounded perspective, recognizing their value as individuals capable of building their own futures. Prioritizing self-empowerment and realistic expectations can lead to more fulfilling, balanced relationships. If you have thoughts or recommendations, we'd love to see your comments. Thanks for watching.